Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. We've been talking politics this morning, and we were just joined by State Representative David Crowley, who has proposed legislation to lift the ban on red light cameras in the state as a way to give law enforcement tools to keep people safe. 2nd District Alderman Cavalier Johnson is on board when it comes to installing those red light cameras and automated speed enforcement, and it is a pleasure to have him here with us today. How are you, Chevy?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being here. And just like David, the last time you were here, you were campaigning for office, and it's been a year. So tell us how things have been for you up to this point.
Yeah, it's been about a year and a half. Since we've been in office as alderman, and it's just been literally nonstop. It's fast paced. It doesn't stop. But we're, I think, doing good work, working hard, serving the constituents in the 2nd District. We do a number of things out in the community, and we'll continue to do those things.
Yeah, I know. I told you, I was teasing you, saying you're a hard guy to catch up with. Every time I call your office, he's in a meeting with this group and that group, which is what it's really all about. So this is what you envisioned, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was telling people when I was running that I was going to be an alderman for everybody, that I was going to be accessible and reliable, and I think that we've been living up to that.
That's good. In the last segment, we were discussing reckless driving in the city, which has, needless to say, become a public safety issue. And you and several other aldermen, you guys were in attendance at City Hall when this press conference took place dealing with these red light cameras. So if you would give us your thoughts when it comes to the implementation of the cameras and the automated speed enforcement.
Sure, absolutely. We were joined by 11 members of the Common Council, myself included, at the press conference where Representative Crowley introduced the idea of lifting the ban in Wisconsin to allow for these red light cameras and traffic enforcement, special traffic enforcement, to be introduced on a pilot basis over the course of 5 years here in the city of Milwaukee. And I went down there and I spoke at that press conference because we have right now a very serious public safety issue happening right now that's affecting all corners of our city, especially my district. When you look at some of the data and you hear folks in elective office and not talk about streets that are really worrisome, Capitol Drive is usually at the top of the list, and that's where my district starts. So I get those concerns all the time. So I'm definitely on board with this proposal because I think that it helps us to tackle a very important public safety issue right now that's happening across our entire city.
Yes, I really agree with you 100% on that. And there are several things that are connected to Police Chief Ed Flynn's traffic enforcement surge that recently kicked off. And I found this interesting. The universal driver education for MPS students and Milwaukee Youth Council's social media campaign, which is discouraging young people from driving stolen vehicles. So these are two very important things as well.
Absolutely. This is not going to be something that there's a silver bullet for. We need to have multiple prongs in order to attack this, and so I think the MPD surge is one. The Youth Council's efforts around letting young people know about the costs and the risks of reckless driving is another, and then the City of Milwaukee last year, and I'm sure this year, will continue its efforts and partnerships with Milwaukee Public Schools to make sure that every young person gets some fundamentals in driving by having universal driver education reintroduced to the public school system.
Good stuff. So anything else in dealing with this subject that you wanted to speak on?
Well, I know that right now we're in the budget process in the City of Milwaukee, and I think that there may be some other action taken during that process, during this whole budget process, in order to tackle the issue as well.
Yeah, because these traffic efforts are coming at a time when police positions are being reduced and retirements are up. So that leads us right to Mayor Tom Barrett's 2018 budget proposal. The Common Council will be responsible for kind of going through this proposal and picking and choosing on what you think works and what makes sense for the citizens of Milwaukee.
Absolutely. Our Finance and Personnel Committee on the Common Council has been doing that throughout the month of October, getting the budget request for the proposed 2018 budget and going through that, and coming up pretty soon here we'll have further deliberations on our budget here. It's a tough budget.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. It's a very tough budget, especially as it relates to issues around public safety.
Yeah, and even the mayor said this is not the budget that he wanted to propose, you know, but he has drawn criticism from Republicans, streetcar opponents, and the heads of local public safety unions because in this proposal, you've got 6 fire stations set to close in Milwaukee. The city of Milwaukee would lose 33 police officer positions, 75 firefighter jobs, along with a 3.7% property tax levy increase. People don't like to hear the word property tax. So, with those things, where do you stand?
Well, I think that if we're looking at a real long-term fix and solution to this, we need to go back to the root cause. 15 years ago or so, nearing that time, Milwaukee, the city of Milwaukee, used to receive enough money back from the state of Wisconsin, our shared revenue program, to cover the entirety of the police department budget, the entirety of the fire department budget, our 2 largest budget expenditures, and still have several millions of dollars left over to invest in things like our roads and other infrastructure. Today, we only get 66 cents on the dollar that we send to Madison. So the issue at play here is Milwaukee and other communities across the state, quite frankly, getting their fair share of shared revenue. I know that the county just recently had their budget deliberations as well, a public meeting on the proposed county budget, and they're facing the same sort of issue. And other places around Wisconsin are facing the same thing. We would think that the best course of action here is for the state of Wisconsin to be fair to us and to other communities around here and make sure they give us our fair share of shared revenue.
Yeah, it only makes sense when you look at everything in black and white. Milwaukee is the largest city in the state, so why would we not get enough money to implement the things that are important across the board for the people who live here? And I've heard the mayor say this on many occasions, that he almost feels like Milwaukee is treated as a stepchild, you know.
And you bring up a good point. So not only is the state shared revenue system broken, but also at the same time too, though, the state puts these caps on the amounts of revenues that we can raise to take care of our priorities, whether they're public safety or not. So they have reduced the amount of state shared revenue that we get back. They put a cap on the amount of money that we can levy, that we can raise via the property tax. They don't allow us to have other streams of revenue. Milwaukee is one of the only large cities in America that doesn't have other revenue sources. We rely primarily on the property tax, and we rely on state shared revenue. And when state shared revenues are down and the state doesn't allow us to raise revenues with the property tax, what else are we left with?
Yeah, and it's, I mean, I've always said this. I've even said it when County Executive Chris Abele was here. I said, you know, I've compared other cities, and I can look at homes that are maybe $400,000 more than homes here in Milwaukee. The property taxes are the same. And that's interesting, to say the least. So homeowners sometimes do feel like they get stuck with all the responsibility.
Right, and I think that in a community like ours, unfortunately, people look at the city of Milwaukee. Since I've been an alderman, I've sort of said 200 East Wells City Hall is like Google headquarters, because folks, you know, they call the city or they email us and they expect us to be able to solve every single issue. But I would implore folks to really do the homework and understand what's at play here. It's not just us. We don't want to make these cuts. The city doesn't want to make these cuts. I, as an alderman, certainly don't want to make these cuts. There are other levels to this as well, and the state is a very important level in this as well.
Well, the mayor feels the best way to avoid the cuts would be approval of a half-cent public safety sales tax, and I'm interested in knowing your thoughts on that.
Well, I think there needs to be some fairness in this. If the state is not going to allow us to raise our revenues ourselves, if they're not going to give us our fair share of shared revenue, then they've got to allow us to be able to do something to address our unique public safety needs.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. He says that if that particular half-cent public safety sales tax is approved, it will fill the 33 jobs and allow 12 additional cops to be hired, as well as save 2 of the fire stations. So that sounds like something that at least will be looked at and see if it's feasible, right?
Yeah, I think so. I hope that the state...
Or if the state allows it.
Again, it's one of those things where the state would have to do. I mean, even that, while it's a fix now, there will become a time in the next several years, 5 or 6 years or so, where that wouldn't even be enough. So we need the state really to step in and do its job and make sure they're providing our fair share of shared revenue to local governments, not just here, but throughout the state. And I'll also mention on the sales tax piece, I remember years ago reading a report that in Milwaukee County, because there was this push some time ago about a 1 cent sales tax, I believe in Milwaukee County, 60% of the sales tax is paid by people who don't even live here.
Interesting.
So people who live here in the city would be paying 40% of that, but people who come into the city from, say, Waukesha, Ozaukee, Washington counties, other tourists, they'd be paying the bulk of that sales tax in order to fund our important services.
It's all very interesting, but it sounds like to me the bottom line, it all kind of points back to the state of Wisconsin. So this is another issue we'll be paying close attention to. Last thing about the budget plan, the mayor says he plans to replace 800 lead service lines in Milwaukee, 600 this year. So that's a very important thing when dealing with water issues, and that takes us to another thing to talk about. The deal made between the city of Milwaukee and the city of Waukesha in regards to the sale of water from Lake Michigan. Can you fill us in a little bit more on that?
Yeah, certainly. And I'll tell you that I'm just starting to do a deep dive into this. Of course, this is happening just as the budget is happening.
A deep dive, no pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. So it's happening at the same time as the budget is happening, so I haven't been able to look very closely at it just yet. But I know that later in November, this issue will be coming before the Common Council. I think this is the right move. Okay. If we can do it in an environmental way, if we can do it in a way that adheres to the requirements of the Great Lakes and the Great Lakes Compact, I think it's a good move. It provides a quality water source for the residents in Waukesha. It provides an opportunity for us to increase our scope as a wholesale supplier of water. It creates another stream of revenue for our water utility because the economy has changed. All right. So I think it's a good thing.
Well, Mayor Barrett, he has billed this partnership as, quote, the most significant intergovernmental cooperation agreement in southeastern Wisconsin history. That's a pretty huge statement.
Yeah, and the other thing that I'm hoping as well is that this helps to bridge some of those divides that we have between Milwaukee County, and Waukesha County, and I hope it opens the door for further regional cooperation. Yeah,
it makes it interesting because Waukesha, of course, sits outside of the Great Lakes Basin and currently has a well water system that's under state order to be replaced or overhauled following the 1987 discovery of substantial amounts of radium in their drinking water. So this is not really just some political stuff. There are some health issues in there as well.
Absolutely. They need it, and I think there'll be benefits for us as well. So they're trying to find another water source because they have those issues in the city of Milwaukee, as you mentioned. There are a number of laterals that are in the city of Milwaukee that contain lead. Yeah. And part of this deal is going to be a one-time payment, $2.5 billion that the Waterworks intends to use to pay down on some of those lateral replacements in the city of Milwaukee.
And that would be by the year 2020. The city could use that 2.5. Is it million? Or?
It's $2.5 billion.
Billion dollars. Million. Okay. Million with an M.
Million with an M.
They would use that to replace the lead laterals, which makes a lot of sense. So it sounds like you are for this partnership. So this deal is expected to save Waukesha water customers $40 million over other alternatives, just upfront costs, and then start flowing in by 2023. That sounds like a far way away, but really it's kind of around the corner.
It is right around the corner.
Really?
And I think it makes sense for them to use us as opposed to other suppliers because of the proximity that Milwaukee has as opposed to other providers. We've got the capacity, our Waterworks does, and then the infrastructure.
Yeah, and not to mention it could help Milwaukee earn $3.2 million annually. So it's all good stuff. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with the viewers before we wrap up today?
Just stay tuned to what's happening during the budget process here. We're looking forward to continuing to work and do good things on behalf of the city of Milwaukee.
Okay, well, I certainly appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and coming by here to fill us in on all of the different things that's taken place when it comes to politics in our city. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Alderman Chevy Johnson represents the 2nd District in the Milwaukee Common Council. For more information on the issues, you can, of course, visit milwaukee.gov, and that is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues Milwaukee. Have a great day.